On August 19th, 1991, Joey Naples, a longtime Youngstown mafia figure, was gunned down by a sniper while he was inspecting his mansion being built in Beaver Township, Ohio, outside of Youngstown. And he was gunned down at the prime of his power. He had been made in 1987, along with Lenny Strollo, and he was the boss of the Mahoning Valley, Youngstown area for the Pittsburgh crime family. Now, his murder was, full of rumors and speculation on who took him out. And we're going to look at some of the suspects in the murder of Joey Naples. We'll first start off with Pinto, his driver / right-hand man. And, some people claim that where was Pinto the night of the shooting? Why wasn't he with Naples? Well, law enforcement thought the same thing. They threw cold water on this right away. When they interviewed workers and neighbors and people familiar with the situation, they said that Naples would often come by himself and inspect the construction site. So this theory that Pinto was with him 24/7 didn't really hold any weight, and that Pinto was pretty quickly cleared as a suspect. The second suspect was Robert Pogan, who was a long-time kind of mafia enforcer type guy, was suspect in some mob hits. And he was arrested in the early 80s, mid-80s, for his role in a bizarre case where the FBI was listening in as Pogan and some others kind of tried to kidnap or kill somebody, and the feds knew about it ahead of time, and they planted wires, and they were kind of listening and then busted in to arrest everyone, which is really bizarre. Why would they let it, escalate to that situation? But I guess some people claim Pogan had an axe to grind with Naples, who he believed had FBI connections and could help him get a lighter sentence. And Pogan and the others got about 15 years in prison. But interesting enough, Pogan was released from prison in 1991, right around the time Naples was killed. He was a named suspect by law enforcement, but apparently he was in the halfway house when the shooting went down. Next up on our list is Ernie Biandello, better known as Ernie B. He was alleged to have taken out Joey Naples because Naples was having an affair with his woman or wife. This comes from William DeLea's book. He was a made member of the Scranton family up in Pennsylvania, and he had extensive dealings with Joey Naples and the Youngstown Mafia and mafia families all over the place. So he made that claim in his book that Ernie B was killed for revenge for Joey Naples, but I don't really believe this theory at all. If Ernie B was so willing to kill Joey Naples, why didn't he then, in fact, just kill Lenny Strollo when he was beefing with Strollo in the mid-90s, when he was allegedly coaxing enforcers like Mark Baccio to take out Lenny? He would have just simply done it. So I don't really believe this theory, but I figured I'd throw it out there because it was in that book. Another theory I've seen thrown around on the internet, and William DeLea talks about this in his book also, that Bruce Zolden, a fireworks dealer from Youngstown, Ohio, had a deal in New York with the Gambino crime family that he would give 10% kickback for any fireworks sold in New York. I guess it was illegal to sell there or quasi-illegal. I'm not sure of the laws. This is in the late 80s and early 90s. And he inquired a debt about a few $100,000, and he didn't pay. And I guess the Gambino family obviously wanted their money. And the theory is that John Gotti stepped in, and since Bruce Zolden was, with Joey Naples, that Joey Naples was killed by the Gambino crime family on orders of John Gotti. Now, this is very interesting, and if somebody owed the mob several $100,000, especially in the late 80s or early 90s, they would consider taking you out. Now, there's been so many rats in New York. I think if they were behind this would have came out. But John Gotti had bigger issues. He was indicted in 1991. I believe it was like the summer of 91, July or so. he was indicted for a RICO conspiracy case. So is he really going to be ordering murders out with another crime family out in Youngstown? And, with so many guys flipping in New York over the years, I feel this would have came out if Gotti was behind it. But it is an interesting theory. But we also have Lenny Strollo, who told the FBI that after Naples was killed, Bruce Olden came to him and he straightened the debt out with the Gambino family and it was paid off. So Lenny Strollo basically tells us the Gambino family had nothing to do with killing Naples because Strollo settled it. So next up is Lenny Strollo himself, who many people believed over the years, and obviously he cooperated in the late 90s, but he was always the main suspect in this hit because he was a rival of Joey's, and Lenny and Joey did not really get along, and they're both made guys. So here's what Lenny Strollo said about the hit. He said while he was in the halfway house in 91, someone approached him and asked what would happen if Joey Naples was killed. Now, Lenny Strollo said absolutely nothing if you don't get caught, as he didn't like Joey Naples. So basically, Lenny's saying, I'll sanction the hit, just don't get caught. But you'll face no blowback from me. So apparently, these two individuals were the Denzio brothers, Emil and James Denzio. This is not what I'm saying. This is what Lenny Strollo said to the FBI. He's blaming the hit on Emil Denzio. So he claimed that the hit was revenge for a bombing that happened in the late 80s of the Cafaro building. I believe it's a Liberty Township, basically Youngstown. And apparently Naples had the building bombed as some kind of warning shot to the Emil Denzio, the Denzio brothers. And this was kind of like a revenge. They were pissed off about it. And this is all according to Lenny Strollo. So basically, the main suspect for law enforcement and the FBI is the Denzio brothers. And they got that information from Lenny Strollo. I think that's probably the most solid lead. Again, that's not me saying it. We're just repeating what Lenny Strollo told the FBI. Thanks for watching.